so Hunter, why don't you tell me a little bit about your background and how you got into the restaurant technology and fintech industry?
Yeah, so it started off in like the merchant processing and financial side of the industry. And then, obviously parent company TouchSuite, along with the partnership with GRUBBRR, had the opportunity to, join the team and really learn from the bottom up as far as combining the, fintech side of the payments industry along with the self-service technology, restaurant hospitality side of things.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of how that started.
Cool. How has the restaurant and hospitality industry evolved over the last few years, and what do you think some of the driving factors behind those changes are?
Yeah, so it's evolved from not only the payment side over the years, accepting credit cards up to contactless payments, but really I think the patience of the customer, the order optimization tools that have come out over the years with POS systems, KDS systems, in other words, kitchen display units and things like that, the way the orders have, processed from the front of the house to the back of the house over the years. It's really been, customer focused. How can we eliminate lines, increase order accuracy, and eliminate a lot of the troubles that, have been common in the restaurant industry over the years.
Kind of optimize the customer experience.
Yeah, 100%.
Very cool. So what insights can you give into how those consumer preferences and behaviors have shaped the way the industry is transformed during that time?
Yeah, again, it's kind of like, for instance, texting when ready, your order's ready, looking to, ever since COVID happened, a lot of things have quickly transformed in the industry as far as getting in and out without, contacting humans. So there's been a lot of innovation on the payment side. But as far as, the customer driving the industry, we've seen order accuracy and really, similar factors kind of adjust the industry so far.
And what impact has technology had on the restaurant and hospitality sector? How have the businesses adapted to these changes?
Yeah, so it's caused a void in should I say it's really caused a massive growth spurt for fintech companies on the payment side who have now adapted from not only taking credit cards at major businesses on e-commerce or in store, but adapting some of these optimization tools to the restaurant side as well.
Very cool. With all of this happening, and obviously a lot of progress has happened during this time, but what do you think some of the biggest challenges are that are kind of facing the industry now in light of some of these advances?
Yeah. Probably, I would say, as this industry has emerged, I think every company deals with technical difficulties, integration difficulties, sure. And really addressing the restaurant industry as a whole, as far as what a restaurant owner is looking for. Every restaurant's different. Everyone operates differently. So trying to fit the bill for every restaurant just isn't always ideal. At GRUBBRR and TouchSuite, we're really focused on QSR restaurants. So there's all the way from grab and go to fine dining. 3 or 4 course meals. So it's really trying to fit every avenue. So just like Apple and Android exist, there's always just different companies that
Gotcha.
will offer different aspects.
And so, how are the restaurants? I imagine GRUBBRR's the self-serving service kiosk is one of the ways, but is this kind of the main way the restaurants are addressing that emphasis on contactless dining and payment options?
Yeah, it's really being able to offer the customer, the easiest way to order their food, kind of just really just figure out exactly what they want to do.
And I would imagine you touched on it a little bit before with COVID-19. I would imagine, like in a lot of other industries, it feels like a lot of this technology was already kind of in the works and getting out into the world. But I would have to imagine that when COVID-19 came around, especially with the options of contactless payments and things like that, it kind of really increased the speed with which these things have come into the world, I would imagine.
Yeah, 100%. Because, before COVID, I think the industry was focused on increasing the, order accuracy, speed, integration for self-service technology. And then COVID came along and we said, it was the perfect storm of not necessarily replacing the cashier in a rude way, but also adapting, to the lack thereof, labor,
Right.
and allowing, the customer who's worried about, getting COVID or spreading the virus to, really, have a seamless process, safe and riskless process.
Yeah, safe and riskless. I think that's what everybody was looking for.
Yeah.
More than anything. So now that we're talking about the kiosks themselves and about what was able to come up with this technology, can you describe some of the key features and the functionalities of GRUBBRR's self-service ordering system and the digital kiosk software?
Yeah. So, as you see the kiosk behind me, Samsung has really, I think, created the smoothest user interface as far as adaptability. Our key features include, item mapping, item scheduling, or I should say menu scheduling, automated upsells. The upsells are where we see the most increase in ROI and really increase in average ticket size as well, up to around 20% is what we are always shooting for.
Gotcha. Do you think is that kind of the biggest thing that sets GRUBBRR apart from competitors, or are there other things as well that kind of sets you guys apart?
I would say the user interface is probably the most important factor to me, at least, and to my my customers. I have had a lot of customers come to us from other kiosk companies, and even in their due diligence and research, they have noticed that when we go through a demo, do a test transaction, or they come to the office and try it out for themselves, they see how intuitive it is, easy to use. Anywhere from a child to someone who's elderly could easily access the kiosk, versus some of these other brands that have very small features and less user-friendly interfaces.
So the user-friendly is obviously the key with something like this, I would imagine.
Yes, I along with the automated upsells that we have pretty much been able to lock in, that is probably the biggest factor.
Cool. Not asking for any names or anything like that, but just some certain examples. Any kind of success stories or case studies where the solutions have significantly benefited clients?
Oh yeah, every day I get calls. Specifically I get a lot of lack of labor and labor shortage issues. And the other day I had two employees. One called out sick and one quit in the same day, and he had to. He has multiple locations. He had to travel to that location to take over the shift. Luckily, we were actually able to get him set up, and it was a seamless process. It was really one and done, and he's explained to me how much it's helped him and allowed his company to succeed.
Yeah, I think that's a big deal. I think especially with a lot of small businesses as well these days, ever since COVID, I know finding staff has been very complicated. So I think having a solution for that problem so they can stay in business has probably been incredibly helpful.
Yeah, very helpful.
So in what ways can the self-service kiosk be customized to meet the specific needs and the branding of the different restaurants that you work with?
Yeah, so the process is that we will take your menu, have the menu team implement it to the kiosk build. Essentially, like the one you see behind me, we can take a video or a picture, display it on the kiosk for the customer to see. We will add your logo as well. So there's a lot of custom variability within the kiosk to match the the framework of the restaurant. It's not a blank face. You know, as you have the ability to customize your menu and the outlook of the kiosk, you can edit upsells, the tip adjusting, tax adjustments, and really tailor it to your fitting.
What about, you're obviously in working with these, you understand them well, and you're probably pretty tech savvy. I'm sure a lot of the people you work with, the restaurant's been around for a while, the guys that run it might not be as tech savvy as you and the rest of the staff here would be. What type of support and training does GRUBBRR provide to the clients during implementation and then afterwards as well, if there's any issues, things like that?
Yeah, luckily our kiosk, to give you some background actually, GRUBBRR has really been involved in the enterprise level space as far as, you know, supporting restaurants on a larger scale versus the SMB owner, so the small business owner, right. 1 to 2 locations, or, you know, under 5. They're not always the most tech savvy. We have a couple things we look for to vet the customer, but from then on out, it's really about providing us with the information we ask for, the menu, and certain you know, variables. But as far as, you know, implementation, it doesn't require a team to come out and install. It's self-installable. We have tons of articles and videos online that allow the merchant to, you know, pretty much self-install the kiosk, get up and running within an hour of it being being in their hands.
That's pretty quick.
We do have a 24/7 support line as well, where, you know, you can reach out to them for any questions A to Z. And you know, as an account manager here, I'm gonna take, you know, as much responsibility as I can to facilitate any additional, you know, issues that may arise, or you know, quick fixes that our development team can, you know, log onto the kiosk from anywhere in the world and take control and fix the problem.
Awesome. You touched on a little bit right there talking about small businesses. So what kind of information can you give us about the scalability of the GRUBBRR solutions for clients with, you know, the different business sizes? You mentioned the small businesses, but what about also the larger businesses with their needs as well?
Yeah, so on the larger side, we do have custom integrations. So, you know, depending on what POS provider you are using right now, we might be able to, you know, make something work there. However, on the larger scale, we've seen this post-pandemic labor shortage, increase in wages. I mean, you know, namely California and all over the U.S. Really allow us to take some of these larger chains like BurgerFi and others to the next level, as far as, you know, taking on the challenges and then implementing self-service technology seamlessly, hand in hand, and really, you know, navigate with them, hold their hand, and be a partner, you know, in their business for the long term.
Awesome. So I think the main thing any business owner is going to, you know, be interested in is, you know, how cost effective these things are. And obviously it's a difference between staffing and this type of thing. So what kind of information can you give us on the cost effectiveness of implementing the GRUBBRR solutions?
Yeah, so, you know, on average, we're seeing a cashier can be anywhere from, you know, $4,000 to $6,000 plus a month. Namely, that's pretty much, you know, what it's going to do, as well as upsell items. So as far as, you know, cost goes, we're seeing, you know, from our base software fee, it's a astronomical difference, and it's making a really big difference in those small businesses and the large ones, as far as, you know, really optimizing and decreasing lines as far as, you know, we're concerned. It's really, you know, allowing these businesses to cut down the frontline costs and lower their, you know, their monthly output.
Perfect. And so just to kind of sum up, you talked about a bunch of these things already, but what would you kind of consider the primary value propositions that you believe GRUBBRR offers to its clients in the self-ordering system and in the digital kiosk software space?
Yeah, so I mean, we're seeing it, you know, lower monthly expenses, increase customer experience, as well as even help with labor shortage, optimization of labor. So, namely, it's really, we're looking to be a partner with businesses to help make them more money. That is, the end strategy, as well as increase that customer experience.
Basically lower their expenses and still have incredibly happy customers walking out the door when all is said and done.
Exactly.
Perfect.
100%.
That's what every business owner wants.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Hunter.
Of course.
It was good talking to you, and hopefully we'll talk again soon.
Of course.
All right.
Thanks so much.